I'm Clark Green with the Elite Angler Academy. Right now it's the morning of day 2 at Lake Eufaula for the MLF Pro Circuit. And I'm currently sitting in 58th with 11.3. You know, weights weren't nearly as good yesterday. There's a few outlier bags that caught a big fish. But I'm right in the thick of it right now. I didn't have a big one yesterday. My biggest fish was 3 pounds, and I had all cookie cutter 2-pounders to go along with it. But today's a whole new day. I think to get paid, if I can go get 11 pounds again, that'll be good for $10,000, which that's winning in my book. But at the same time, I really want to make the cut. Haven't made one yet this year. I've been close with getting 2 checks on the low end. Had a bad battery issue at Murray, so because of that, I really need to jump in the points. I came into this event like 81st or something in the points, trying to make that not FLW, the MLF, title championship up at La Crosse. So we need that boost in the points right now. So trying to do enough to fish on day 2. I think if I get 12 pounds, that'll get me there. That's going to take it a quality bite or 2. I'm going to go, head hunting a little bit today, but I'm going to make sure I try and catch and nickel and dime up as much as I can with the weights being tight. I've got a few fry garters found. I've got a fish or 2 on beds left that I think I can catch, but they're not real big. I think I'm going to start off, maybe down at the dam and throw a vixen, trying to get a big fish to come up. And then more than likely, I'm going to go jerk baiting most of the day. That's how I caught my better fish yesterday. And, I had one good one in practice on. I had a 5-pounder. My roommate's Matt Reed. He had a 5-pounder on it yesterday. He only had 3 fish, but he had a 5-pounder doing it. I caught a limit of keepers yesterday on the jerk bait. So we're going to try that, for a big bulk of the day, and just, let it rip. I'm about to show you the rods I got on the deck, the baits I got tied on. And keep in mind, I'm not sponsored by these bait companies. These are the baits that I'm buying or given, and I'm using, tying them on for this event. So hopefully y'all learn a little bit, piece all these videos together from every day, from some of the thought processes that I'm having. There goes Mike McClellan coming by. And hopefully you learn a little bit, some tournament strategy, ways to think on some of these videos. And hopefully we get it done. We're about to head to takeoff. Thought I'd go over the baits real quick that I've got tied on. This side right here is my cover water side. Whenever I'm out just moving, trying to cover some water willow, moving around. More of this is going to happen earlier in the day. I've got an original Vixen tied on. Hard to beat that whenever you're talking about walking baits in top water. I think I'm going to go down to the dam and throw that. There's a break line down there that's got some big boulders on it that are right underneath the surface. And if I can get a fish or 2 right there, they're probably going to end up going away in. I've got my Yellow Magic. The bait I caught 2 right off the bat yesterday. I knew where one of those fish was for sure. It was guarding fry around a dock, and threw up there and popped it real quick. I got a 3/4 ounce War Eagle spinnerbait tied on. I know that several big fish are being caught on that right now, especially slow rolling over brush piles. I don't have brush piles marked per se, but I know where a few are around some docks. Whenever I'm pulling up to them to fish these docks, I can see them on the active target. And so it's going to give me an option if I see brush out in front of a dock to slow roll that. I've got on a Teckle blade waker, and that bait is great, especially going through water willow grass. It's real weedless coming through. It's kind of like a modified chatterbait, but it runs right underneath the surface. Right now that water willow is sitting about 2 foot of water, so those shallow fish will come up and swipe it, looking like a shag coming through. We got just a regular old swim jig tied on, and we got old faithful spinning rod right there, that 703 Fury with a Senko on there, to skip around, especially like where I know those fry garters are. Now over on this side, this is where I think if it's going to happen today, this is where it's at. I've got on a Duo, I forgot their actual name for it, but it's a little bit smaller jerkbait, a little bit shallower. And the reason I've got it on is it's a little bit heavier. The weight transfer system's better, so when I'm around docks, if I want to pitch it, up underneath the dock. A lot of these docks here at Eufaula, are sitting 3 to 4 feet above the water, especially since the water dropped. and I'm going to be able to place that and roll cast it underneath the dock and place it in places around the walkways, when it's a little bit shallower. That bait's going to enable me to pinpoint exactly where I want to put it. I've got the 110+1. That's kind of going to be the go-to, more or less, but the problem is they're real fragile, and so if I'm side casting and trying to roll it underneath docks and walkways, there's a good chance I'm going to lose several of them with that bill breaking off. But you got to put it where they're at. And then I've got a 7/16 ounce Eakins jig. That's a green pumpkin blue with a Zoom speed crawl trailer. That's coming from hearsay from one of the guys I work with. We've had a 1-2 punch on the docks where it's that jig on the walkway, but I think the water dropping has pulled those fish out, and the jerk bait and outside edge of it is kind of seen like one of the deals, as well as throwing that jerk bait around lay downs and things of that nature. So I'm Clark Ring with the Elite Angler Academy. This is day 2 of the tournament, getting ready for takeoff at Lake Eufaula.